Thank you for checking out day 7 of the 30-day sourcing series. This is Maisha, and I thought I would record today because I've been a little lax with the writing. I'm starting at like 11:59 most nights trying to get in my journaling for the day, and that's been a challenge, but I've been so consumed with preparation for SourceCon that I've kind of not managed my day after work very well. So I thought this would be a good way to get today's entry done and also provide a little bit of variety, right? Sometimes we don't want to read, we just want to skim. And other times we'll just watch a quick 3, 4 minute video in lieu of reading. So this is my attempt to keep it diverse for you. So in thinking about some of the things that won't make the SourceCon presentation and some things that I still really wanted to share, I thought I would share 2 slides with you that ended up on the cutting room floor. So that is what today is all about. And it's really going to be about the effort of sourcing, or maybe, the hard work behind sourcing. One of the themes of SourceCon is that it's going to be 2 days of sourcing magic. And I thought a lot about this. And, I think while there is no magic button, there are definitely magical moments in sourcing. And if you're a sourcer, you know that, when someone replies to you after 4 weeks and says they're interested, or when you start getting unsolicited referrals, that's always a beautiful, magical moment. But it also made me think about what's behind the magic. And I thought about this ballerina on the left and just how beautiful she looks there in midair, right? Just gorgeous, pristine, just perfect, floating in midair. It's just a work of art, right? But how often is it that we think about what is behind her magic? If you look on the left, the wear and tear on her legs and her calves, the bruised and weary ankles and achy shins and battered toes. Like, it's hard work making something look easy. And so this reminded me of just what's behind my magic as a sourcer. And in 3 of the tech companies that I supported as a technical sourcer, my first hire came at month 8. So if you can imagine, one more month and a baby could have been birthed. I mean, that's a long time to work on one something. And what happened was, being new to Silicon Valley, I didn't realize that it was as competitive as it was. And the first 2 or 3 source candidates at 3 different companies, Google, LinkedIn, and GitHub, they took other offers. They declined the offer. And so that's a really different feeling when you're working so hard and you're trying to be as creative as you can and bring everything you can to the table, and then you still have that weight, right? So I think it's important for us in the sourcing community to not only share our best practices and our wins and tips and tricks, but also share those crash and burn stories. Share the things that are not as beautiful as what you see on the left hand side of your screen, right? What about the battered, bruised, wearied ankles? Like, there's hard work that goes into this thing. So that was something that I just wanted to share that I won't have an opportunity to, but I think it goes um, speaks to a larger point that, a lot of the time the work that we do is very, very involving, and then, our reward and our celebration is very fleeting. Even when I made my first hire at Google, it was just kind of like I didn't feel any relief. I was just like, oh my God, that's one. Like, I hope the next one doesn't take as long. And it didn't. Part of it was the learning curve, and things started picking up and there's momentum, but you still have that pressure, right? And you're trying to make sure that it falls in the right quarter so you get credit. And it's just all these manner of things. So I came up with an acronym to describe what's behind my magic. So you'll have to come to SourceCon to see what that acronym is, or wait until maybe sometime after the conference, and I'll be sure to publicize my acronym for what's behind my magic. And then the last slide I wanted to share with you is one I was thinking about. And if you're a fan of Beyonce, then you know this is the cover, or not the cover, but it's one of the images in her video for Superpower. She has a song off the last album called Superpower, the one before Lemonade. So that's the second to last album. But my superpower would be my work ethic. And I had to cut out these examples, but I shared that at Google, sometimes I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to get an edge on the East Coast sourcers. Or at LinkedIn, I took a Python class at Stanford because I didn't know enough about programming languages and I wanted to be able to speak more intelligently to the software engineers I was screening every day. Or at Verizon, how I entered the world's greatest sorcerer contest to sharpen my skills and ended up placing third out of 700 contestants. So I think the work ethic has really been my secret weapon as a sorcerer and as a recruiter, and I think throughout my career. And I have to thank, my mentors that I had very early in my career who really helped shape that work ethic. So that's today's video entry. Just these two slides that were kind of my favorites, but got cut, as I went through version after version after iteration after iteration. So I'm really happy with the final product. It should be ready actually tomorrow. But yeah, just wanted to share those two with you. So thank you for tuning in. And maybe I'll start doing more of these. So this is a lot easier than writing, revising, revamping, repeat. So thanks for tuning in. This is Maisha Cannon, and you've been watching 30 Day Sourcing Series, Day 7.